Yay! Hi everybody. I'm just setting up, and then I will. So yeah, here we are. Hello everybody. Just a quick hello, and then oh, I'm early anyway, so that's fine. Hi Brendan. Hi Annie. Hi Liz, and hi Jeremy. Lovely to see you guys. So today I thought we could do a little bit of a heart opening class, which includes back bends. So the yeah, it's a good area to work because we do spend a lot of our day going more and more like this. So we need a bit of this. It accesses the shoulders because obviously they are they are opposing. So yeah, back bend, shoulder injuries, or you're just worried about them, just go into the modification, and you guys will all know the modifications, and you'll know when to take rest. So yeah, that's the most important thing. And if you do need to come out of a pose, just come out slowly and then rest in your favorite child's pose or lying down. I might just talk through a few of them as well, and not go into them completely, as I'm on day 4 of a fast, so I'm not I'm not running on 100%. but it's a really good time to teach yoga, actually, because you're at your best spiritually and mentally. So yeah, let's start with you. I was going to start with us standing at the front of our mats with our feet hip distance. So yeah, we're going to start feet hip distance, but then we're going to find ragdoll. So starting from this kind of midway point, so it's not really standing, it's not really sitting, it's kind of in between. And we've got this little bit of surrender in this pose, which is something that connects to the heart center, which is our trust. So yeah, we have to just trust that we can really let go of our weight, and we will be held by the strength of our legs. So some of the strongest muscles in our body. And yeah, you can optional have the hands opposite elbows, or you can have the hands in front of the feet. And the head and neck is really important. The more you let that go and release, the more you'll get a lot out of this ragdoll position. So yeah, if you gave it a yes or a no, you could check that there was no tension in your neck. So that's important. All right, and then just take a few breaths. It won't be a pose you could hold for ages, but it's a good place to start to really surrender. So feel that, or like connect to your body and your breath here, letting go. So there is, there's that trust element. And then we'll breathe into the belly, even though there's that pressure on the chest, on the thighs. So expanding outwards, so it maybe ricochets into the lower back. Great. Okay, and so from there we're going to start to flow. So releasing the hands down. You're going to inhale, take a straightening in the spine and perhaps the legs, looking straight down. 2 more of those because it feels good to go in and out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, straighten the spine, look down, shoulders press down the back, then exhale, forward fold. And then last one, inhale, straightening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, now we're going to step your right foot back and take a low lunge. We're going to start with a low lunge into our heart opening sequence. So knee over ankle. You could choose to keep the fingertips down or go straight into it with the arms up. And then from the arms up, we're going to do arm circles. So in this version, from here on the exhale, you're going to sweep the arms behind you. And then you can almost back bend if you want to, but it is early. On the inhale, sweep, reach forward and up. And exhale, open the shoulders. Last one, inhale. And exhale, starting to open into the shoulders, open into the chest, and then release the hands down. You're going to take your first high plank. So one thing we have to do when we're working with back bends is strengthen our core. So can you hold this for a few breaths, breathing, even though it's strong? And if you can't, then just drop the knees down at any time. Hands underneath shoulders, press away from the floor. So you're really trying to bring your belly in towards the spine, having almost rounding in around the shoulders, so they're kind of pulling apart the shoulder blades. Last breath here, then exhale, drop down onto the knees. Now, something we don't normally do, and I love this one, Anahatasana. So it basically means to bow the chest down, so it's knees, chest, chin in English. So you bend the elbows and see if you can bring the chest down and the bum down. It's a bit like puppy, but the elbows are in towards the spine. And then from there you can slide through to a cobra. We'll stay low because it is early. So low cobra, you could lift the hands because that will strengthen your back, which is important as well. And then exhale, find your downward dog. Whether you go through bent knees or just straight up, it's up to you. Feet hip distance, tailbone high, and then find your spread fingers, pressing into fingertips and knuckles. It's your first one, Adho Mukha, so you might want to bend into the knees, maybe look under opposite armpit, so you make that your own, and then find downward dog. Okay, now look forward, step, right foot, then left foot forward, inhale to a flat back, and exhale to forward fold. We're going to come up to stand. This will be our first Tadasana. So inhale, you could roll up or reverse one dive where you circle the arms out. Core is engaged either way. And then exhale, release. We're going to do left side. So inhale, circle the arms up. Make it slow so you feel it in the shoulders. Then exhale, circle them beside you as you forward fold. Head relax. Now inhale to flat back and exhale, forward fold. We'll go straight to the left side, so left foot steps back, dropping the back knee. You could stay on the fingertips or inhale, reach the arms up. And then on the exhale, remember we're squeezing the shoulder blades together, little half opener. If you don't mind back bending, stay neutral. If not, inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then last one, inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, open the heart center, looking either up or forward. And then hands down, find high plank. Again, can you hold it for 3 breaths? Press the floor away. You want to make sure you're really spreading the hands so you can press into the fingertips and the knuckles to take a lot of the pressure away from the wrists. And then as you press into the toes, you lift. You press the heels back away from you, and that gives strength in the legs. Exhale, knees, chest, chin if you can. So elbows in towards the body, chest comes down, chin down, and look forward. Okay, and then slide on the next inhale to baby cobra. You could lift the hands if you want more. Exhale, find your downward dog. Whether you go through bent knees or not is up to you. Wonderful. And then find downward dog again. Still early, still warming up. So maybe another walking of the dog. Maybe you need that modification of bending your knees. So take what you need. Shoulders are squeezing to the outsides of the body. Head is relaxed. Gaze towards the feet. Or some say the belly, but I find that unnaturally turns the neck. So I look between the feet. Look forward, step or walk to the front of your mat. Flat back as you inhale. And then forward fold as you exhale. Now to stand, press down with the feet, rolling up, vertebrae by vertebrae, or reverse one dive, you choose, and then exhale, release, Tadasana. Great, keep it flowing, inhale, circle the arms, and on the exhale, we're going to bow down, and as you come into your forward fold, interlace the hands behind you. You can have a bend in the knees for this one, and you're bringing the head towards the shins, and the arms overhead towards the front of your mat, beyond your head. That's the intention, and that's getting the shoulder work. Now inhale as you flat back, release the hands, or arms, sorry, and then exhale, fold. Okay, so next one, step back to a high lunge. If you want to modify, just drop the right knee down. So front knee is over the ankle, inhale, reaching the arms up. And then again, as we did, you're going to interlace. Don't worry if you wobble. Interlace the hands behind you. You're going to reach the hands away from you towards the heels and keeping that knee over the ankle. So a bit like a reverse warrior, you've got to keep focus on that front knee. And then you can either look forward or up. Okay, to release the arms. And then let's take a twist after that. So right hand down, left arm up. Left knee stays over the ankle. You could even reach the left fingertips back if that felt good in the shoulder. And then release it down on the exhale. Let's all step back to high plank. Take an extra breath. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, you could do knees, chest, chin. If you like that version, it's quite nice. It's a low back bend. Or you could do any other version that you're used to in your variations. And if you come to a hover, you can come to your upward facing dog, if that's good for your body. Otherwise, low cobra or higher cobra. And we all meet on the exhale for your downward dog. I think that makes sense. Okay. Feet hip distance, hands shoulder width distance, spread the shoulders apart, and then bring your feet together. We're going to take the warrior flow on the right. So reach your right leg up, three-legged dog, toes facing down. Exhale, bending that knee, squeezing it into the heart, so into your chest, in between the elbows. Look to the knee, last breath, and then release that foot down. So I'm going to mirror you. So, no, just face you. So your front knee is over the ankle, and you're going to pivot that back foot, so it's in warrior two. We're going to semicircle. Be your left arm up and back, and right arm forward. You're in warrior two, hips facing forward, front knee over the ankle. Take any distance between the legs to feel this opening or abduction, but also you want to feel as if this thigh is going to become parallel to the earth, but keeping the torso lifted. All right, from there, we take it into a reverse. Flipping the front hand, reaching forward, inhale, and exhale, release. So just as you did before, the knee stays locked. That's the tricky part as your body comes back. If it's too much to back bend, stay neutral. And then on the exhale, forearm to thigh, or those that do, hand on the inside and left arm up. And if you want even more, you can reach forward with that top arm overhead, but think about heart opening. So you're reaching that arm back so that there's space for your head and your heart to spin up to the sky. Good, now look down. We'll cartwheel both hands down, either side of front foot. Take a vinyasa, so you'll be taking a vinyasa of choice or skipping it and going into your downward facing dog. And that's where we meet. Downward dog. Surprising amount of energy, actually. All right, so now look forward and step right foot and then left foot back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Now to stand, inhale. Press into the heels. You can roll up or reverse on dive. And meet Tadasana. Okay. Second side, left side. Inhale, circle the arms up. And exhale, bend the knees as you swan dive down. Oh, as you do, interlace the hands behind, but a different cross of the hands, you'll know. So one forefinger is in front, and then reaching the arms overhead. You could have a little bend in the knees if you need it. Tailbone still reaching high. Now exhale, release, and inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step left foot back. Taking either low lunge or high lunge if you want the challenge and the balance. Front knee over the ankle, reaching the arms up. Taking the same cross of the hands, so interlace, so awkward forward finger in front, if that makes sense. Reaching the arms back if you can back bend, otherwise stay neutral. You'll get this into the shoulders otherwise. Reaching the hands back, gaze would be forward or up if you can challenge the balance, and then release. Reach the arms. Exhale, left hand comes down as right arm is up. Front knee over the ankle. Those that did and it felt good, reach your right fingertips back and down on the exhale. High plank for an extra breath. Press the floor away, engage your core. That's what's going to protect your back with all this work we're doing. Last breath. And then your choice, vinyasa of choice, knees, chest, chin is a lovely version. Otherwise, whatever works for your body. And meet in downward dog. We'll do the other side. So feet together, left leg lifts as much as works for your body, but hip level. And then bend your left knee, bring it in between the elbows, head to knee as you squeeze it in, and then release that foot down. Warrior two footing on that back foot, semicircle, right arm up, and then back, left arm forward. Great. Find warrior two, find your gaze, your drishti, bow down into that front thigh, but keep the torso lifted. Very important to notice if you're leaning to one side. You want this core activation. Here, now flip the front hand. If you're back bending, take the back hand to the back leg and the other arm overhead, otherwise neutral. And then exhale into your side angle, forearm or fingertips down on the inside of that left foot. Right arm up or over, so lots of choice. And the gaze could be up if it's okay in the neck, could be forward or down if not. And then look down, right hand, left hand, frame that front foot. Take a vinyasa or skip it, go to downward dog, and we'll meet you there. So it really is about making this practice your own, honoring your body, honoring your breath. If you lose the breath, don't worry, just come back to it when you've noticed. Now look forward, step or walk to the front. Okay, I've got a lot to fit in, so exhale, forward fold. We're going to roll up just because it's so good for the spine. Great. And then shoulder roll. So our standing balance today will be king, well, not king dancer, but we're going to try dance pose. Remember, you've got a wall if you need it, or a chair with you. So you're going to bend your right knee as you bring the weight into your left. And then you're going to take your right hand to your right ankle. So from the side, we're here. Now remember, you don't have to go too far with this one. Inhale, lifting left arm up. And as you exhale, you tilt forward, reaching the right arm, left arm forward. Now this front knee, you have a micro bend at least. You could even have a bit more of a bend as you get used to this pose. And then you press that foot in to the hand. Gaze would be down. And then to come out of it, press into your standing leg, neutralize the torso, and then release. Well done. Shoulder roll, shake out your standing leg. Same on the other side. So your dance might look a lot more lovely than mine. It's not my, forte. So, right hand, right hip, left hand, left ankle or foot. And then inhale, lifting, right arm. Oh, I got that wrong. Right hand, right hip, sorry. And then tilting forward, reaching forward with the right hand, pressing when you feel steady, the foot into the hand. So a little bit of a back bend, but not too much. Inhale, coming all the way up, and then releasing, shoulder roll. Well done. Shake out your standing leg. Okay, so into our back bending that we're going to come down on the floor for. So let's come through chair, bend knees, sit low as you sweep the arms forward and up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back again, and then exhale, fold again. You can take a vinyasa and meet in downward dog, or just go from high plank to the floor and meet us there. So if you're adding in the vinyasa, from downward dog, you'll come forward into your plank, lower down with or without the knees, all the way to lie on the belly. And then we start with cobra, but a variation to that. So hopefully you can see here. The hands will be in kind of spider fingers. So like that on the floor, and they're kind of shoulder distance. So your hands are in like cactus arms, forehead down. As you inhale, you're going to lift up, so you don't come up as high, and then exhale. Bring the forehead back down. 2 more of those. Inhale, curling the spine up, looking forward, and exhale. It's on the third that we will hold for as long as you can, just a couple of breaths. So yeah, elbows are bent, fingertips into the floor, gaze would be forward. So think crown of the head up to the sky. I do see a lot of looking up in yoga, but I would always suggest in these back bends to have the head forward, just for the neck support. Okay, and then exhale, well done, release. And then into our second version here will be locust. So let's take a rest before. Hands on top of hands, elbows out to the side, feet, big toes touch, heels to the side, rest on a cheek and take a few breaths in crocodile. This is a really good pose. I find it even more relaxing than child's pose because the body is much more, it's much more yin. There's no active stretch really, it's just release, which is lovely after back bends. So yeah, locust, yes, we'll do the one where you interlace the hands behind. So feet hip distance, hands alongside the body and then interlace them. It could be your standard interlace, just because this isn't the most favourite locust pose. So forehead down. On the inhale, you lift your head, your shoulders, your heart away from the floor. That already is enough in the back for me, but you could go further. You could reach the arm. Oh, sorry, no, it'd be the legs first. And then the arms can come away. So yeah, you're lifting as high as you can. The gaze is still forward, so crown of the head is up, or you could even look down, depending on your neck. If it's too much, release, but otherwise breathe. And then when you're ready to release, make a pillow, rest on the opposite cheek, and just let go. Big toes touch, heels to the side. Yeah, so let that go. So you might feel very energized after these kind of classes, as long as the back has been supported. Hence why I'm trying to throw in some twists and some core strength and some rest here, which is important in between. Unless you've got very flexible back, I find these are really important. Okay, we're going to come up. So hands under shoulders, come through a baby cobra. Inhale, curling up. And then as you exhale, just round the spine, back into a child's pose. Okay, so from child's pose, we're going to do that little heart opening flow, which we've done before in this class. So you can just rock from side to side or stay still. You could have the arms forward, active, where you bring the arms away from the floor, or beside you, where you get a bit more release for your shoulders. So make this child's pose enjoyable. It's good to stretch the back body after. And after this last little thing we're going to do, we will finish with our peak, and then we will do a pigeon. So let's come into it. Bring your hands forward and then just open the knees wide if they weren't, big toes touch. So your left hand will be forward and your right hand will be back. If you can get them both on the floor, that will help. And the head is down as well, looking towards the hand. Don't worry if it's not all the way down. Okay, and then you're pulling the hands away from each other, getting that all the way up into the upper spine, shoulders, the traps, all that area. And then you're going to press into your right hand. Yeah, your right hand. If you're taking the back bend variation. If not, just stay here. This is a lovely pose to be in. Press into your right hand as you press your hips forward. Left arm comes up or over. Could be at any angle, really. Depends on your shoulders and neck. And then you're going to slowly bring the hips back down and sweep that left hand back and right arm forward. Pull the hands apart. Head on the floor if it can reach. And then if you're going into the back bend, left hand presses, pressing your hips up and forward as right arm goes back. And then you can play with flowing through those two. So you sweep the arm back and then go straight into the back bend. A couple of times on each side, if it feels good. Any gaze point that works. And if it doesn't, just stay in those twisted child's pose variation. Great. And then when you finish both sides a couple of times, find stillness, forehead release. Well done. So the peak pose is an option, or there's stages to it, which is camel pose. So I don't normally teach back bends because I know so many people that have lower back pain, but I think I always shied away from back bends when I injured my back. So I think that, and then I was taught later on in life that they're actually very beneficial, but you just take them to a much lesser amount. So I'm going to show you the variations. Feet, so knees hip distance, and then feet tucked, and you're going to start with your hands on your hips. It's very important to think about what we do in Tadasana with the hip flexor. So remember that little tilt of the pelvis, that small thing, but what it does is it flattens the hip flexor straight, and it turns on the glutes and the core. So that's really important to protect. Okay, then you will lift your right arm up. Those of you that are just waffling, you can go straight in if you've got a nice and open back. Then the right hand can come back. Now, if that's already too much, you could just bring the hands back, and then you could just lean back to any amount, looking forward. Glutes on, core engaged, and then just whenever you need to release. So a little bit of back bend is always good. If you can get one hand down, then that's fine. Looking forward. And if you can go further still, so with one hand down, you would lift the opposite arm up and then release it back. Can you get both hands on both heels? And then you want to press your hips forward. So this is also very important. So just as we were talking about the hip flexor straight and parallel to the wall, that's what we want here in this posture. So the back bend will start from there because that is safest. Okay, so, and it will turn on your glutes, which is very important. If you can, turn the head back, great. I've talked through this a lot, so if you haven't already released, you can. And to release, always lift the head first, one hand to the hip, one hand down, and then both hands down. Just take a moment. You can just sit the hips back to the heels, and then coming all the way up. We want to neutralize before we take the opposing, which is a forward fold, and then you can come into your child's pose after that. Good. Okay, and then breathe. So if you did one side actually, you have the opportunity to do the other side. If you don't want to do it again, just stay in child's pose. So we're going to come back up to the knees, hip distance. So yeah, hip distance, hands to the hips, tucking the toes, or those of you that have a strong practice, the feet would be flat. Okay, opposite arm, lifting left arm up perhaps. I don't think I'm mirroring, but then bring that hand to the heel and then pressing your hips forward, whether you're in one arm version or two arm version. And there you have it if you want to go into that pose. Once again, once you've already visited it, you might feel that you might go further. You might also feel the opposite. You can't go in anymore. Then that's fine. Just notice how your body is. Any pain, just release. These are very stimulating and very, very beneficial for our body, but we need to oppose it. So one hand up, one hand to the hip, hands back down, and then just sit back down, just neutralize the spine before we take a forward fold. So yeah, well done. We're going to finish that with, because that was our peak, we're going to finish that with a pigeon. So hopefully that should feel good. Forward fold or child's pose, balasana, just a few really deep breaths to the belly, into the back. So let's come on into our pigeon. So from all fours, if you've got knee injury, you can have half pigeon or lying down on your backs. And I won't demonstrate those because I know you guys know them. So right knee, right wrist, right foot slightly out to the left, and then walk or step or slide that left leg back in line with its hip. Great, inhale, maybe a baby back bend before we find that restful pigeon, because we don't want any more back bends right now. You've done them all, they're all done now. But hopefully we've felt like you've opened the chest and got some stimulation to behind the shoulder blades whilst doing that, which is great for the shoulders, but also it's an area that obviously is in body language. So when we're closed, we really send off signals, not only out into the universe, but out towards others. So when we open out our hearts, we're opening to not only to give, but to receive. So it's also important to know that when we're opening that area, we're opening it up to ourselves as well. So yeah, this is something that, it's good to do every now and then, but it is strong in the back. So yeah, hence why we're in pigeon. Take some really deep breaths to the belly. See if you can feel that breath into the back. And those of you that love a strong practice and want to do one more back bend, there is the option here, but you don't have to. It's not necessary, but you could come up. Otherwise, you just stay and bend into that back knee. You could take that hand to the back foot, a bit like dancer. And if it's available, you could even bend the elbow into the foot in towards the elbow crease. Those of you that have the practice of binding the fingers, you could take bind. That's not mine. So then you could just stay there. There's a little bit of a back bend in that. So when you're ready to release, just release the foot. Bring the hands down. Those of you bowing, come up, and let's all either choose a downward dog or all fours before we go over to the other side. I like a downward dog to stretch out the legs. And then drop down onto the knees, or you could take the left knee from there, from downward dog, left knee, left wrist, out to the right, right leg back, in line with its hip. Fingers either side of that knee, looking forward, crown of the head up to the sky, and then when you're ready, find your restful pigeon. One hand on top of the other, rest the forehead. This is what we came for. This is the one. Hopefully, I haven't met anyone that doesn't love pigeon or a variation of. It's just a really nice stretch that you can feel quite strongly, but without it being uncomfortable. It's a stretch you can really be with. And that's what we're training our minds to do, to be with ourselves through these sensations that arise through these postures. So lots going on as we practice. Not only this glorious breath. Okay, I'm rambling. We're going to come up. Those that did the variation on the other side can do it here, but remember it's not important. You'll have one side that's easier for you, bending that knee, bringing the hand to the foot. You could even bring the foot to the elbow crease, and those that did connect, you can connect. I can't seem to get the balance on that one, so I'm going to leave it. But if you like the variation, take it. Okay, and those of you that were in sleeping pigeon, come up. So releasing in the variation, and let's all find a downward dog, walking out the dog. Our last kind of standing posture, and then step or walk, both feet coming onto a seated position, and then straighten the legs out. Just one more thing before we go on our backs, a seated spinal twist. So right knee in, right foot over, left leg could bend if that's in your practice. Either way, right knee is high, right hand behind, hugging or bring the elbow on the outside of that right knee. And then turn towards your right. Any pain in the neck, just choose a different gaze. Notice the belly as it's compressed. Breathing into it throughout every corner that you can. Reach the breath. Oh, and those that want to arm balance, there's one there. I will assume you know it, so I won't show it. But those of you that want to try. And then look forward. Let's release that top arm, release it down, straighten the legs, give them a shake, and do the same on the other side. So left knee in and over. Right heel can come towards that opposite heel, hip, but it doesn't matter. Left knee high, left hand behind. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, elbow on the outside. Sit tall, and then look over to your left. And breathe. On balance people, you're welcome to take Kundanyasana here. Not demonstrating today, but I assume you know that one. And then we'll come out. So look forward, reaching that left arm up and then down. And then straighten the legs, give them a shake. Great. Okay, so onto the floor. We just have a couple of things, but core, yes. Before we come down, we use our core, activating into it. So hands on shins. Only time you wouldn't really is if you had any surgery there or pregnancy. You could just stay in this lovely version, opening your heart, squeezing your shoulder blades together, or go straight into your version of boat. So the legs could be straight if you're in the full version. Mine will stay here today. Eyes in line with your toes. Notice the shake and the wobble. We've done some strong stuff, so hopefully your body is feeling it, but it will get the benefits once we rest. So let's roll down. You can come through this kind of low boat shape and then come down, or just roll down any other way. Hugging your knees, rocking from side to side. That should feel good. A little back massage. Take a few moments there. Right. Okay, and then a happy baby. Again, another great pose to do, or to twin with what we've done. So knees in line with ankles, feet flex. If you can reach the feet, take the feet, otherwise the outsides of the legs. And as you bend the knees down, bring them towards the armpits. So they're coming down kind of into parallel towards the floor. And then you're getting that lovely pressure on the back body. And just breathe through it. You could stay still or use movement and make it yours. And those of you that felt you didn't get a lot of leg stretches, we didn't do as many standing today, so you could stretch into one leg if you want to get a bit more of a stretch, and then bend it, bring it back to happy baby, and then stretch out the other leg. That makes sense. Straightening out, extending, extending the knee. Oh goodness. And then bend that knee, bring it back. Well done. Okay, so let's think about coming into rest. If you feel there's anything you need before, please do that. Otherwise, find your resting position. Shavasana, legs and arms straight, or TP knees if you need a bit more back, lower back support, feet wide, knees together, and just let go. So yeah, coming back into our our focus today. So our heart center. So this is when healthy and nurtured. This is all about love, compassion, self-acceptance. So that's something perhaps we can right here in this meditation or in this relaxation take a moment to really fully feel. So for ourselves, because once we fill ourselves up, we can then give that energy outwards. So feeling. So the heart center is really about feeling. So feeling that love, feeling that compassion, and feeling that self-acceptance for ourselves. You could even bring a hand to the heart, or two hands to the heart, to feel that connection with your hand and your heart center. Bringing your breath and your energy to that area as we take this last few minutes with ourselves. So take a moment to connect back to a deeper breath. So bringing the breath to the belly. You could remove the hands or keep connected. And start to bring that breath back to the belly as you inhale, really expand. Draw that belly out as it fills up. And then exhale, release the belly down and in. And as the breath leaves. And now moving your fingers and toes ever so slightly to signal your body waking up. You could take the feet together and arms overhead to an all over body stretch. Point the toes away from the fingers, maybe interlace the hands and push the palms away. And then as you exhale, release the arms, bend the knees, bring them into your chest, give yourself a hug. And really mean that hug. And then take it over to your right side, resting there. Great. Now come up when you're ready, but take your time. If you need to stay there, stay there. coming all the way up. Now, if you open the eyes, just reclose them when you get here. I'm going to take a little bit of a self massage. See how this goes. So you're gonna first of all rub your hands together. It's a really good way to start. So rub your hands together and cup the hands over the eyes and just breathing in. Notice if you see any colors or shapes with that. Great. And then you're going to extend that out. So you can start by pressure. So there's two ways, but I prefer pressure. So you can start pressing around the eyebrows, all fingers or just one, or your thumb, whatever feels right. And then there's points underneath, from the either side of the eyebrows, all the way down the side of the nose, and then around this cheekbone, up the top, and then down, and then around the chin. Seems strange, but there's some pressure points here. And where else was there? Oh yeah, the ear. This is a lovely area. So pressing the ear lobe all the way up to the top. You can press or you can rub, and then we will rub. So rubbing around the head, the neck, little circles or just pressure, whatever feels right. I'm quite a strong pressure, but see what feels good. And then around the shoulders. And then you go, oh, oh, I didn't realize they were really tight. And you can just rub around either side of the spine, so it loves that any way that feels good. You know, it's your body. And then just release. Bring your hands to your heart. Just take a moment, eyes closed. Breathing into that. So perfect. So now take your hands to your heart. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bow down. Namaste. Okay, lift your head and heart. Eyes closed. We've done this already, but let's do it again. Eyes still closed. Rub hands, cup hands, and then release. So yes, hope that was all right. Have a lovely week. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, miss you all. Hope we get to see each other soon. Hopefully soon. Yes. All right. Lots of love. Bye.